sampling?
No. Maybe.
I think I am. Perfect. Welcome, commoners, to your October kit. We are going to be talking about the bee's knees and a classic that's special to me called the Ivey League. We are featuring our good friends at Bow and Ben, their honey that is made 2 blocks away, not even, it's like a block away. Really wonderful honey, lavender, gin, and Amaro. So let's get started with our bee's knees cocktail. The first thing you're going to need to do is make your honey syrup. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 ounces of honey and 2 ounces of water and heat it up. If you have super hot water out of your tap, it might be hot enough. So 2 ounces is a 1/4 cup. If you do the math, it makes sense. 2 ounces of honey into your saucepan. We are doing 2 ounces because that's going to give you plenty of syrup to make several cocktails, but it's also going to leave you with a really good amount of honey, and this honey is so good by itself. 2 ounces of water. Heat that up until it is blended, and then let it cool for a second. So the bee's knees is a classic cocktail that is comprised of gin, lemon, and honey. And that is really it. It's a gin sour where they substituted sugar for honey, and it makes a world of difference. It's a very delicious cocktail. Gin is cool. It has a long history in England, but my favorite part of it is the US history. During Prohibition, there was gin joints, there was bathtub gin, there was Old Tom gin, all these things that you might be familiar with if you like cocktail history. But the Old Tom gin was cool to me. They would have basically these sort of like soda fountain things that were a black tomcat, and you could put coins in them and it would dispense gin out of the cat's mouth. That was sort of like the beginning of Prohibition. And then as people got a little bit more gutsy, they opened gin joints, and all of the gin joints were symbolized by the black tomcat. So everybody could go in there and drink their bathtub gin and have a good time and probably get sick from the horrible gin they drank. But we've come a long way, and gin is wonderful. It's one of my favorite spirits. And today we are going to be using a London dry style. Bee's knees. Let's get started. Cocktail shaker. And we're going to start with our smallest ingredient because that is the best way to build your cocktail. 1/2 ounce of your honey syrup. 3/4 ounce of your citrus cordial. And then 2 ounces of the gin, whatever you chose for your cocktail experience. So now your cocktail is fully built, and you're going to add ice to your shaker. As a rule, I usually add ice until none of the cubes are free floating. You need your ice to chill, aerate, and dilute. So you don't want it to do too much or too little of any of those things. So as you add ice, it obviously chills it, and the ice melts a little bit, so it dilutes it. And then just the act of shaking it is what aerates it, and that sort of combines all of the ingredients and also gives them the same viscosity or mouthfeel. So you're going to seal your cocktail shaker, shake for about 10 seconds. You're going to break the seal of your shaker, get your glass, strain your cocktail into said glass, and Then you're gonna fill your glass with fresh ice. This ice hasn't been all beaten up, so it's gonna stay colder longer and dilute less. Take a lemon and get a fresh swath of the rind. Hold it horizontally with the rind out and just squeeze it over the top of the drink and swipe it. That expresses all of the essential oils from the lemon over the top of the drink, with just adds like a lot of aroma. It's very surprising how much it changes a cocktail. You should try it without and with, just to have your own experience. And an absolute must for the bee's knees is your golden bee stir stick that you received. Drop that in there, give it a swirl. Cheers. You can cut now, we're gonna move on.
Nah.
Okay. Our next cocktail is the Ivy League. This is a personal favorite because I made it in honor of a very good friend of mine, and it was on the menu at our restaurant and sort of a staple there for several years. It was originally made with whiskey. We were making this Ivy League with gin, and the sort of the key ingredient is the lavender honey. So you're going to make your honey syrup the same way as you did previously, and add a teaspoon of your dried lavender buds. Once it's all heated and mixed together, take it off of the heat, let it steep for 8 minutes, and then strain out the lavender. And you will have a really lovely syrup that you can use for lots of cocktails. We'll start with our lavender honey again, starting with the smallest ingredient always. You'll do 3/4 of an ounce of citrus and 3/4 of an ounce of your Commons Amaro. This is our version of sort of like an Italian Amaro. It's largely based off of Chiacharo Amaro, which was the other key ingredient in the Ivy League. Amaro is the Italian word for bitter, and it basically is a spirit that has roots and herbs and citrus and sugar added to it to flavor it, and it's got some bitter elements to it. So you do 3/4 of that, and then 2 ounces of gin. And again, we're gonna add ice until it's no longer free floating, and shake it. For this cocktail, I like to serve it up. And if you don't have a coupe glass on hand, a rocks glass will do just fine. Strain your cocktail into the glass and garnish it with your dehydrated orange, which adds a really nice aroma, and then a sprig of lavender because it's just visually stunning. Cheers to you. If you are a new member and joining us for the first time, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. And if you're joining us again, so good to have you back. We look forward to seeing you next month. Cheers to you. See you later. Enjoy your gin, enjoy your honey, and enjoy your life.